My name is Justin Turner. I'm here to present my weeks 3 and 4 coding assignment for Combinatorial Text Backend Bootcamp. I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we go. And share the whole thing. Okay, so we're looking at where I completed my assignment, which is in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to run the main method here so we can see that it works and we can see all the outputs in the terminal. So I'm going to gloss over some of the details that I included in my last video in the interest of time. It asked me to create some arrays. I created some arrays and then programmatically calculated the difference between the last element and the first element using the length of the array -1 and the index 0 of that array for the first element. Okay. Then I used a loop to calculate the average age. So I just used an enhanced for loop there, declared an int called total plus equals age for each value in the ages array, and then did the last calculation in my output. So here we can, here we can see the output. Okay. Similar idea for calculating the average number of letters per name, except now we're doing name.length, which is a method called on a string, rather than the dot length that you see for the length of an array. Okay. Next one was to concatenate all the names together using a loop. I also made a string builder object for that. And you can see here what that looks like. And then the output just takes the result and calls the toString method on it. So here's a concatenated string of names in the output. Okay, and then how do you access the last element of array and the first element of array? I was very clever about this. Not that clever. Probably actually wasted some time declaring arrays for both the questions and the answers, and then using the means to access first elements versus last elements in printing my output. Not that clever. Okay, so create a new array of ints called name lengths. Okay, I did that, and again calls to dot length, which is a string method. Okay, and then I had to write a loop to calculate the total number of characters. So I'm just using an enhanced for loop again to do that and printing out the total. Okay, on to the prompts that asked me to create some methods. I also wrote some test methods for each of these prompts. So I'm going to just scroll down to the methods themselves to take a look at those. Okay, so first one was repeat word. I just initialized a string builder and added the word to the string builder n number of times using a loop. Okay, and there's the output. Okay, full name was a similar idea. I did not initialize a string builder for this one because it's just 2 strings, which wouldn't take up that much memory. And we can see the output here. Okay. The next one was given an array of ints, test that the sum of all the elements in the array was greater than 100. And here, I think the point of this was to see if we could return a Boolean expression or something like that, which I did down here. And basically calculated the total using an enhanced for loop right beforehand. So here's what the output would look like. Some of the values in this array is not greater than 100, yada, yada. Okay, average of array, we were asked to find the average of an array of double values. I did that. You already saw above that I know how to calculate averages of an array using a loop. Okay, and then the next one was to write a method that compared the averages of 2 double arrays. I just called that previous method that I had written to get the averages of the 2 arrays provided as parameters. And returned a Boolean expression, is average 1 greater than average 2. Oops, okay. And then final one was will buy drink. Provided a Boolean is hot outside and a double money in pocket. you had to return true if it is hot outside and your money in pocket is greater than 1050. This was probably the simplest one I had to write. So you just do is hot outside and money in pocket is greater than 1050. Okay, I'm not going to take you through my how I tested the output. You can see it down here if you want, and take a look at the code on my GitHub if you really want to. I'm sure you're going through a lot of these, whoever you are. Okay. All right, and then finally, create a method of your own that solves a problem. So what I did was I created a method that takes a total bill for something like a meal or like a rideshare service, and then calculates what that bill would look like with a variety of common tip percentages added in. I also optionally allowed the user to input a custom tip percentage, so I had to overload the method in order to do that. So really, I wrote two versions of this method with different signatures, one with the custom tip percentage, one without, and then just wrote some tests for it there.